So, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at those vintage Bert and Ernie hand puppets. We'll be taking a brief look back at their history, but most importantly, I'll be sharing with you all how you can operate and puppeteer them, and where you can find and buy them online. So, what are we waiting for? Let's talk about it. So, these vintage Bert and Ernie character puppets were made and created by Muppets Inc. and were first performed, of course, by their creators, Jim Henson and Frank Oz, back in 1969 for the first test episode of Sesame Street. These original live hand puppets were made of rubber/plastic and were followed by several other production variations from different toy companies in the 1970s. This, of course, included toy companies like Topper and Child Guidance, who made less expensive fabricated head versions of these characters. So here's Ernie in his iconic shirt, blue and red striped long sleeve shirt, and then we have Bert right here in his very colorful long sleeved, very colorful shirt as well. Now, kind of like I shared earlier, both puppet characters have hard plastic heads made of rubber, as you can see here. You can see the rubber because you're able to kind of do this with his face. Same thing with Bert, you can do the exact same thing. Now, from what I found out online, like I said before as well, these guys were made by different toy companies. So depending on which toy company made them, depending on the year that each toy company had the license to make these, that's how you can know which ones you own. But for the most part, they're pretty much the same. They have the same design, same build, and they look the same. The black on Ernie's hair is real, and same with Bert. Here's his iconic black fuzzy head. They used plastic for the eyebrows, and then everything else is plastic outside of his shirt being fabric. So we can see on the back of Ernie's head here, it says Muppets Inc. So of course, it was a little more clearer to see on Ernie because he's orange, but similar, as you can see, it says Muppets Inc. When I kind of do it like this, Ernie looks like some weird spider with just arms and a head. And this is just to show you guys that he doesn't really have a body. They just kind of made the shirt like a sleeve. These were and are kid puppets, so these are made for kids. And, it's just something fun that kids can have and play with as they're watching Sesame Street at the time. And just like today, make fun Sesame Street toys for kids. And then collectors will end up either, adding them to a collection. But first and foremost, these are kid puppets. They made his arms out of these tube foam type things. And then, of course, like I said, his hands are plastic. Mind you, again, these are kid puppets and they're made for smaller hands. That's only, I guess, the downside of having a hard plastic head is that over time, if the plastic starts to stiffen, then it's very hard to puppeteer. If you do have these puppets, if you live in a hot area, it might soften up the plastic, because I remember when we first got these guys, it was just stiff as a board. There was no moving. They were just glorified statues. So, you can move them around, have them dance. Rubber ducky, you're the one. Yeah, I'm literally pressing the top of my hand up just to even move his mouth, because it is really stiff inside. And yeah, well, I thought Ernie was stiff, but Bert is just as stiff. What I'm doing right now, because I have bigger hands, I'm literally just pressing on the top of his lip to make him move and talk. So, you can make him open and close his mouth like so, make him annoyed, and go, Ernie, how do I look? With your eyes, Bert. He can also and walk away. So he's the same way. It's just a sleeve for his body. And he has also these tube foam-like arms. So the positive side, like I said, with the hard plastic head is that they always will remain looking like them. The problem is, as far as puppeteering them and trying to operate them, it might get a little challenging because the plastic and the hard rubber head will start to stiff over time. But you can always, like I said, just constantly be moving their mouth, and eventually over time it should soften up some of their joints. You'll be able to move or operate them. And, if worse can worse, if you can actually find a version of them with their fabric heads, that might do you a lot better. I'm always still on the lookout for those sets of puppets as well. Also, if you guys are wondering about how you can operate and puppeteer their arms, you really can't. These are kind of just, like I said, tube arms. There's not really a pocket in their arm that you can move the arm. If you can find a pretty thin puppet rod to wrap around here, you can always use that and kind of just move it like this. But for the most part, you can only operate and puppeteer their mouths and their head. And because these guys are considered vintage, you can find them online ranging between the prices of $33 all the way up to $1,000. I saw a listing on eBay, and it is because that set of puppets actually come with the original boxes. So whether you find a listing on whether they're together or separate, these guys can get pretty expensive. Of course, as a collector, my fellow tip and advice would be to always check a local thrift store or antique store because you never know what you could find. As far as online goes on where to find these guys, I highly recommend that you guys check Etsy, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. And of course, the obvious one is eBay, but I also recommend Craigslist because you never know what you can find on there. Leave me a comment below letting me know what is your favorite Sesame Street character of all time. My favorite would definitely have to be Cookie Monster. Leave me a comment below. I would love to hear about it. Hey, thanks so much for watching this fun, awesome puppet-related video. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned a lot, and if you did, please do me a favor and go check out the next video right here on the screen. Kermit and I, along with Bert and Ernie, think you will enjoy it, and we'll see you over there. Until next time, take care, and well, have an awesome day.